Jalen Brunson put himself in a new stratosphere of player.
I'm not about to hold it against them that they didn't make it to the conference finals. New York versus Indiana. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little disappointed, y'all, because I wanted New York to move on, man.
I know you did. You were begging for, we finally got comp, so no more. No.
No, it's not even that, bro. I just want to see my guys in New York, man. There'll be pictures we're about to have.
I was trying to go up there. No bull.
Yeah. But yeah, so Indiana comes back down from 3-2, right?
Yeah, they were down at one point, yeah.
Indiana comes back from 3-2, closes it out in the Garden in Game 7. I don't know, dude. This series right here, probably top 3 series so far? Top 3 series so far, right?
Yeah, probably. You probably have to put it in the 3, but you gotta be in the 3. You gotta be in the 3. Yeah.
This series was so fun to me, but a lot of things to talk about specifically for the Knicks. So the biggest thing for the Knicks. First of all, before we even get to that, shout out to the New York Knicks for the season that they had. Let's start off there. Because there's certain seasons that will never be forgotten by their fans, regardless of whether or not they make it to the finals, whether or not, you know what I'm saying, MVPs are won. I think what this core has done for the city of New York and New York Knicks fans, they will never forget it. On some 2017 Celtics, John Wall for the Wizards type of timing. Like, this is a fantastic season for the New York Knicks. Wait, what happened?
I just thinking, Jalen Brunson is really about to be what John Wall is. They really just realized that because if you are from the DMV, comment below. Y'all know how the John Wall discussions get down. Bezos and Damo had someone from my area pull up to playback, so they know what we think. I'm telling you, John Wall in DC is like a god. So Jalen Brunson in New York. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I forgot the names he was arguing too. But I think the biggest story for the New York Knicks this series is the fact that they were so injured. I don't got the list in front of me, but going into Game 7, OG was out. Julius Randle has been out for the whole playoffs. Mitchell Robinson has been out. Josh Hart had abdominal pains in Game 6. Jalen Brunson didn't even finish Game 7. So that's effectively their whole starting five that was not there. And Draymond Green had this to say about the New York Knicks injuries.
We got the Knicks and the Pacers.
Damn, hater.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think the Knicks were like.
I don't think he's using the right mic. But let me stop hating.
Great of a team, which I said, and everybody's like, "Oh, you hating on the Knicks?" Like, no, I'm actually not. I actually did this 4 times. I kind of know what it takes and I know what it looks like. And I know everybody's going to be like, oh, man, they got hurt and this guy got hurt. And, that's a part of it, right?
Right.
When KD got hurt and Clay got hurt, nobody's like, oh, man, them guys got hurt. So we feel bad for the Warriors. Those guys got hurt and they would have won. Nobody said that. Just like when we won in 2015, nobody be like, oh, man, Kyrie was hurt and got hurt during the series. And Kevin, you got to play him on court. So
what is Blood talking about?
Let's not even go there. We got the Knicks.
Oh, no. I don't know what the intro's supposed to be. Sorry, editing team. No, that. Chat, ladies and gentlemen, that is some bullshit. And I love Draymond Green, all right? I made one of my last basketball videos that I made is about Draymond Green, new media thing, and I liked what the initial message was. That's just not true. Everywhere the fuck we got 3 NBA YouTubers on the screen right now. I know I'm part-time. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm being biased or just hating. Do we not hear religiously that 2015, hey, we just know for a fact, law of the land, the Warriors lose if Kyrie and Caleb are healthy? Is that not what goes on? Okay, what about, I don't know, the following year? Do we not hear that, if Draymond didn't get suspended, the Warriors definitely win in 5? What? I don't know what we're doing. Is that not the religious take?
And what about the following year when Kawhi got a
following year? What are we doing?
And then the following year with Chris Paul, bro.
The Kawhi Leonard injury. Then we have the Chris Paul injury. And then we have your injuries. We literally talk about a 2019. The Warriors were healthy. Kawhi doesn't win. 2021 got referred to as the medical ring. Draymond, you're yapping, gang. I'm sorry. That's just not true.
Let's
keep going.
Let's not forget the world got injured in 2020. Everybody.
The world injury. It was so Mickey.
Everybody was injured.
Mickey ring.
So that's how Draymond Green feels. He's definitely bugging. Maybe he's literally just thinking about what Golden State and the Bay Area thinks about those rings, and that's just the bubble that he's in. But I do want to have a discussion with y'all about the New York Knicks. Do they deserve the injury excuse? Do they get the injury excuse?
I'll go first because I know what Damo thinks, and I know what Omar thinks, and I'm pretty sure I know what you think as well. I'm going to say no, but in a weird way. So, obviously, people are very harsh on Tom Thibodeau because he's getting the duck treatment, Hey, Derrick Rose, and then, what's that other team? Damn, now I can't think of it. But especially this year. Thank you, Timberwolves. And then now we're in New York, and 5 starters got hurt. All of that thing. I truly get it. And I know how y'all feel. I actually, seriously, truly do understand why you're looking at them and you're like, okay, at some point, you have something to do with this. But that's who the Knicks were all along. That's who the Knicks were. And if you're going to live by yourself and die by yourself, damn it, they died. They went out in their way. So I'm not going to lie. And I'm not even going to act like if they were healthy, they just, eviscerate. It's likely, but I'm not going to act like it. At the end of the day, you got to play the actual game. But the point is, I'm not giving them an excuse. When we said frame one, I don't know if this kind of play style works. Whether that's Tibbs, whether that's JB, whether that's Josh Hart, whoever you want to put the blame on. We literally were like, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but damn it, that's how the Knicks hooping. So am I going to give them an injury excuse for getting eliminated? No. Bezos, I'll even go a step further. And I told you time in and time out, had the Knicks won this game. And it was Boston Knicks. And unless literally JB was out for 5 straight games or 6 straight games or 4, y'all would tweet them. I'm not giving them that excuse for real either. I'm gonna give them a little bit of leeway, but at the end of the day, that's how they played. That's how they played basketball. That's how they approached it. Hell, that's how most teams with that kind of roster would approach it. I'm not giving them any necessarily excuse. Now, is it just true? Yes. Do I think the healthy Knicks beat the Pacers? Hell yeah. But it's not what happened.
I'm not gonna lie.
Prove it.
I genuinely think that the Pacers the Knicks do get, and if you want to call it the injury excuse, they came into the playoffs without their second best player. Throughout this series, they were just getting player after player after player knocked off. Now, I don't blame Tibbs at all for any of the injuries. If anything, the only realistic one, I guess, is Josh Hart. But then I would say Josh Hart doesn't get all these minutes if they're healthy. OG came to the team. He rolled his ankle. He didn't roll his ankle because he played 49, 50 minutes. He rolled his ankle because he rolled his ankle playing basketball. Julius Randle ripped his shoulder apart, tore his shoulder up playing basketball. It was a physical injury. It was not because he played 59 minutes a game that his shoulder ended up getting torn apart. No, it was a physical injury. Not going to hold you. It's not – I'm not about to give that – I'm not about to give that to him. Mitchell Robinson came back from an injury, and – he really shouldn't have been playing. I'm not going to sit there and say, Tibbs got him. And Tibbs didn't fucking run him into the ground. He came back and wanted to play. They tried to play him. But he was shorthanded as it was. So he had to use the guys that he could use in order to be competitive. That's it. I mean, y'all can sit there and say, Josh Hart shouldn't play 50 minutes. All right, you really want fucking Alec Burks out there for 30 minutes? I get he had a good little stretch. It's still fucking Alec Burks, nigga. Y'all want Deuce McBride getting 35 minutes? It's fucking Deuce McBride, buddy. Y'all want Jericho Sims getting 50 minutes? It's Jericho Sims, nigga. Like, at the end of the day, niggas is trying to win. And you use the best players you can use. Last time I checked, Dante played. He played to the very end. Last time I checked, Josh Hart was playing up until Game 6, and he still played Game 7. Yes, he got hurt in Game 6. I give you that because of the non-contact injury he had, but nigga still played. You play with you, and anybody taking shit away from the Pacers, fuck you. You play who's in front of you. You can't control what happens on other niggas' teams. They cannot control the fact that Giannis is injury prone when it comes to the playoffs. They cannot control the fact that Dame got hurt. They cannot control the fact that the Knicks started to get riddled with injuries, but they came into the playoffs hurt. They cannot control that. All they can do is play who's in front of them. So, yes, I give the Knicks the excuse of injuries, but I'm not about to blame Tibbs like y'all want to blame Tibbs for fucking Derrick Rose. That's what kills me. Every time you ask a nigga, why are you blaming Tibbs? Man, it started with Rose, And Luol Deng, like, all right, nigga, grow the fuck up. You were 13, gang. Grow up. You're a grown man now. Jesus.
But even with Derrick Rose, I don't think the problem was ever playing him high minutes. It was the fact that he was in a game up by 20 for no fucking reason. So that even is like, and also with Derrick Rose, the conversation with him was the landing mechanics. Is that Tibbs' fault? The whole landing mechanics conversation, is that Tibbs' fault?
Shouldn't have been in there to begin with.
Head ass. But going back to the New York Knicks, I think for me, I agree with Damo. Obviously, with my team and the conversation around my team, you play who the fuck is in front of you. I'm not about to take away from the Indiana Pacers because the other team is not healthy. They play who's in front of them. But I will say for the New York Knicks with the injuries, I'm not about to hold it against them that they didn't make it to the conference finals, that they didn't make it to the finals because they were depleted. That's the unfortunate part about injuries is that on one side, you know, you look at a team and they win, you didn't face a healthy team. On the other side, there's a team that genuinely had players in physical pain and were also not at 100%, so we never got to see their full potential. That is the lose situation of injuries because we never truly find out the truth. That's what everyone hates about injuries. The NBA playoffs are here, man. There's a lot of money to be made if you play daily fantasy sports. And if you want to get into the action, you guys can use PrizePicks, the sponsor of this podcast, our preferable way to play daily fantasy sports. We will show you how to play the game right now, and it is very, very simple. Just sign up for an account, download their app, go on their website, and make some picks. And if you really know ball, you can win some money. I'm going to go ahead and look down here. Kevin Durant, 36.5 points plus rebounds plus assists versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm sensing a big game from KD tonight, man. Hit more for me, please. And then Darius Garland has been letting me down all year, and it's just another day of the year. Hit less for me on the PRA as well for Darius Garland. Omar, you decide how much we put on the entry.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit. I'm going to put 210 on there. Make place entry.
And if you use code LKIB, PrizePicks will match 100% of your first deposit up to $100. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right back to the content. Nah, I'm saying another reason I'm not giving these niggas an injury excuse. I thought one of y'all were gonna bring it up. I'll gladly take credit for this. Yeah, I don't give a fuck if I was on the Knicks. The Pacers did what to y'all? Can we talk about what the Pacers did to these niggas?
Oh yeah, 70%. You talk about the 70%? Yeah. Nah.
What, bro? I don't give a fuck if I'm guarding Reese. God damn, somebody gonna make a stop. They had their sliders up. Black Magic Hall of Fame. But 70% in a half finishing the game, what was it, 67? These niggas fell off into 60s? Bro, no, bro. No, bro. Obviously, Pacers at some point, all right, they're just making shit, dog. But simultaneously, no, I'm not putting that on injuries. Fuck that.
I can't sit the sage and with all the modesty and honesty in my heart. When the Halliburton come through, they blowing shit up, man. I can't. Hey, the Halliburton came through and started dropping bombs on the guard, nigga. Like I've been saying, if the Halliburton 4-7, we pulling up to New York and we blowing that bitch up.
Don't let him say this.
Blowing that
bitch. That's actually crazy.
New York ain't seen that level of destruction. New York ain't seen that level of destruction from the Halliburton since 2001. It's crazy.
It's not like this the whole time.
It's crazy.
Hell nah.
It's crazy.
Niggas I know that one dude tried to go crazy on Twitter, Damo, talking to me and you. Bro, with Halliburton, you really only talking.
Ooh.
Oh no. You was not like
Take off the PrizePicks hat. Take off the PrizePicks hat.
Oh, Jesus.
Yo, he was not like this when them Knicks was doing that. Not letting them have it, Mr.
It looked bad.
And I know you like Zoe. I heard that take. He's just a passer. I heard that take.
He's a passive guy. Regardless, everybody was saying. I sat there and said,
Osama bin Toppin is great.
I sat there and said, hey, man, maybe we definitely overrated his offensive production capabilities. His scoring, we overrated it. I get that. At no point did I ever denounce my allegiance with the Halliburton. Never. I said, my guy's passive, and that's okay. Let him be passive. He gets the offense going. He gets in where he fits in with his shots. I've always had that take. Always had it. Shout out to Halliburton. We out here. Blowing shit up.
Well, before we talk about what the Knicks should do in the offseason, I do want to ask y'all, the Becky Hammond take. this season. That was a take that was talked about a lot. This idea that Jalen Brunson is too small, he's not good enough to be a 1. Was she proven right? Was she proven wrong? Or is it still non-conclusive evidence?
You're an asshole because one, you blame a lot of people, regardless of me not giving it the excuse. The team is obviously injured. On top of that, it already has a weird foundational rule that I've always thought was weird in this conversation, that 6'4" doesn't qualify and 6'3" does. So it's like, okay. But on top of both of those factors, I mean, a lot of the offense, a lot of the reasons behind why small guards can't win are kind of like still around. Like Luka don't check niggas like that. Reese don't check niggas like that. You really looking at Ant and Tatum. So maybe if it's T-Wolves Boston, she's 100% right. But I'm not one of these hindsighty ass guys that's gonna sit there and say, "Oh yeah, nah, she's perfectly right because it hasn't happened yet again." I think what makes the take valid more than just it obviously not happening is because the attributes that were needed to win a championship, she was right, were common in small guards, and they haven't been able to show that you can win. The New York Knicks were showing something different. I think the Timberwolves, if we weren't having this weird 6'4" clause, and I know Ant a little stocky, but if we weren't having this weird 6'4" clause, are really showing a difference there. But most importantly, when I look at a guy like Luka Doncic, and we can talk about his defense being underrated all we want, dog, that he ain't good. He ain't like lockdown. So when the small guard attributes are on a lot of the teams remaining outside of Boston, I'm personally not gonna then be like, oh yeah, nah, she's 100% right. But yet again, it's hard to say she's wrong. I know that's weird, but yeah.
Nah, she was wrong. What you call it? I always have to take of. I mean, yes, it's not easy to build a championship roster or have a championship contender with a small guard, but we've seen it done before, and it's not impossible. It just takes the right circumstances. It's hard to do. It might be improbable, but it's not impossible. And Jalen Brunson showed that with an injury-riddled team, he still took the Pacers to 7. He still is being a level of player no one thought he would be on New York. He's literally, I heard someone say Julius Randle might have started the fire to get that buzz back in New York, but Jalen Brunson, hey, that motherfucker set that bitch ablaze. Jalen Brunson has brought energy back to the Garden I have not seen in a long time. Even when Julius Randle getting them to the playoffs, I did not see Charles Oakley, Starberry, Walt Frazier, all the old Knicks in there without getting kicked out, all the celebrities in there every game. I was going to call him Fat Joe, but he's not fat no more. So just Joe, Chris Rock, Ben Stiller, Ice Spice. Like, he brought out New York. He brought hoops back to New York. And if y'all don't think that is a big thing and that's going to play a major part in where you're going to start seeing Jalen Brunson moving forward, all right, my nigga, Jalen Brunson is a superstar now. I'm telling you this now before you start seeing him in commercials, before you start seeing him in shows, before you start seeing him in music videos. I'm telling you now, the energy he brought back into New York, all the eyes that was in that building, all the people that was in that building, that nigga Jalen Brunson put himself in a new stratosphere of player. I said it early on Player's Choice, and I'll say it again. He might not be a top 10 player, but he is in that Jimmy Butler realm. He is that, in the regular season, in the regular season, he's right outside the top 10. He's like that 15 to 11 range. But in the playoffs, when he flip that switch, you can't tell me he's not top 10. And it'd be hard for you to tell me he's not top 5, honestly, with the way he's playing. So shout out Jalen Brunson.
I also want to say before Souls goes, I just think the reason I'm so hell-bent on my take is for you to tell me that she was completely right. You would have to convince me that the next step going forward needs to be a way to usurp Jalen Brunson in talent in terms of getting a player that is better than him on the roster, because you don't think you can win with Jalen Brunson and or deleting him from your roster. I think that's asinine. So
yeah, I think the whole he's too small thing, it more so has to do with just history. I think it's a case of correlation doesn't equal causation, because if you look back, again, the take is the fact that throughout a majority of NBA history, not a lot of small guards have led their teams to championships. You can only name Isaiah Thomas, you would name Steph Curry, and then after that you'd have to go to Magic Johnson, who's 6'9", so he doesn't count. The Detroit Pistons, if you want to say they were led by Chauncey Billups, but that's like the most outlier ass team in NBA history. And then you might have to stretch it to like, I don't know, was Tony Parker the leader of the Spurs and things like that. So I feel like for me, the take is just inconclusive evidence. I think with the Knicks being so hobbled, was Jalen Brunson going to be the exception to the rule? I don't know. Jalen Brunson was trying it. I said on the pod, bro, Jalen Brunson was trying his best to be the exception. I understand if we were to bet, I personally wouldn't bet on Jalen Brunson being the exception because, again, it's like a 90-10 odd. But, boy, it looked like Jalen Brunson was that 10% when he was healthy this season. So that's my only thing. So I do want to give Jalen Brunson credit on that front. I do think the biggest concern with the Knicks, though, building around Jalen Brunson is, and this has been a meme on my channel now, the tier 1 player playing at a tier 1 level. And he was. That's my thing. I think throughout history, the more consistent thing is you need that Himothy, for lack of a better term. And without that guy, you're not going to win a championship. But they got that guy in Jalen Brunson. The bigger concern for me for the Knicks is the heliocentric offense that they run around Jalen Brunson and how effective that can be. Because there's a lot of problems with heliocentric offenses. And if you look at who, well, actually, I can't even say that because there's 2 heliocentric offenses in the conference finals right now. But in terms of like who wins the whole thing, not a lot of heliocentric offenses win. So
yeah. And on top of that, when you're talking about Jalen Brunson playing at a tier 1 level and being a tier 1 player, someone in chat, I don't know how accurate this is, but someone in chat basically questioned, well, wasn't Becky's take around being that special caliber player, and she doesn't think that is a Jalen Brunson because obviously Stephen Curry exists, and it's not even been a decade yet. It's about to be, but it hasn't been a decade. If we're going that angle, in my personal opinion, then she's way wrong. What about Jalen Brunson show you that he can't do it? what about Jalen Brunson's play specifically said, yeah, nah, he's not special enough to do that. I looked at the Knicks and I said, damn, these niggas injured. Damn, these niggas injured. Now, that's how they play. That's how they got there. I'm not giving them an excuse for it. But when we're talking about Jalen Brunson not potentially being a guy that could do it, or really any small guard, Jalen Brunson at least seemed like he's damn well potentially an exception. Like I'd be fine if I had to build around Jalen Brunson, and if I was like a new expansion team or whatever, I wouldn't trip at all.